So I'm gonna record this session. So those who are not attending today will have the chance to listen what I'm gonna say. So, so this is macroeconomics. It's a very, very important topic. Whatever you think is very important, especially in those times. And this is a very particular moment in life. We have been hit by an epidemic that has made so much harm to many people. I mean, from my side, I can tell you that I have seen many people dying of COVID. And that is very sad. That is very, very sad. And so, but I also, I also believe that COVID is not only a medical problem, it also became an economic problem because most of the businesses and most of the economic activity has been shut down in the past 2, 3, 4 months. So the goal is to see what's going on, analyze what is happening from what the economic theory says. And then, as I said before, we are gonna make our own judgments on what we believe. So before I start talking too much, which I always do, I'm gonna explain you the syllabus. So as you can see, we're gonna be meeting via Zoom. So this is good. I really like Zoom. It's a very good way to participate. It's very interactive. You guys can talk, just unmute your phone, or you can just send me a message via the chat room. So we can do a very interactive class. So, and I really encourage people to ask questions. So it's gonna be good for the class to know what people think. So the good news for our class is that we have a, okay, more salutations. So we have a free textbook. So the textbook is gonna be free. So you just click in this link and you will open the textbook. So this is one of the beauties of this class. We don't have to pay anything for the textbook. And this is a very good, high quality textbook. So I recommend everybody to download the book, have it handy, and start reading the book. Not only having the book, but also reading the book. So in many cases, I have seen students who buy the books and they don't read it. So the bad news is that everybody, I have seen a good response among students. You guys are already signing up for sapling learning. Sapling learning is going to be very, very important. We're going to be using sapling learning a lot, especially during the problem sets. So the cost is $42, but I do believe it still is not that bad. It's still a good price for the course. So, and I also recommend students to read the media outlets, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg.com, or Fox Business. Many people might have some preferences for news outlets. What I usually do is I revise all of them because I really want to see what's going on. So I usually revise all the websites and try to make sense of what's going on in our economy. So to make the long story short, we are going to be covering many chapters. I guess this is a very long syllabus, but I do believe this syllabus is very informative. So we are going to start with chapter 3. So supply and demand, so the idea of the market. So we are going to briefly talk about this today. So I said the deadline August 26, but if you look at the at sapling learning, let me open sapling learning. So the deadline for our problem sets, all of them are going to be September 20th. September 20th. So keep in mind that the first problem set is a homework. It's an extra credit assignment. I think I should say here, extra credit. So if you solve this extra credit, you will get points. If you don't solve it, it doesn't affect your final grade. Many students
I have
at
a
the end.
question.
Hello,
I have a
Zakaria?
question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question. So,
Yes.
sapling learning we use to do our homeworks, right?
Yes, yes, this is for homework. And there is a lot of exercises that you need to solve. And this is good
Okay.
because you cannot learn macroeconomics or any economics class without doing a sizable number of exercises. So
Okay.
I do
And
believe,
on
okay.
Blackboard, what? So homework on sapling and on Blackboard we do what? What do we do on Blackboard?
In Blackboard, that's a very good question. I'm gonna go through this because as you can see, we have the test that is gonna be in Blackboard. You have sapling 1, which is gonna be in sapling learning, and you have a reflection paper, which is gonna be also in Blackboard. So the test and reflection have to be in the, sorry, in Blackboard, and sapling, this is the problem set. You have to solve it in sapling learning. That's a very, very good question. Thank you for asking, because many students get a little bit, what is the word? Confused. So I am gonna repeat, the test and the reflection paper are gonna be assignments to be solved in Blackboard. Sapling 1, sapling 2 is gonna be, and all the saplings are the problem sets in sapling learning, okay? Is that clear, Zakaria?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure, of course. So so that's the thing. Remember, chapter 3 is an extra credit assignment. Do you have to do it? I would recommend everybody to do it. Do you want to get a good grade? You have to maximize the amount of points. So I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. Sorry. So we are gonna solve chapter 3, or you're gonna solve chapter 3, and then the first module starts with chapter 5 and 6, then 7 and 8, 9 and 10, so on and so forth. So there are gonna be 5 different modules. In each module, you have to comply with the 3 same assignments, okay? So what are these assignments? Well, the test is gonna be uploaded in Blackboard close to the deadline. The exam is gonna be open for at least a week or yeah, more or less a week. Sapling learning is gonna be open every time until the deadline. So remember that September 18 and 19, there is a holiday. I think it's 18, 19, and the 20th. So by law, and not by law, by request of the school, so the deadline is gonna be September 17th. However, I know that many students need a little bit more time. I'm gonna leave all the problems, all the exercises open until the 20th. But the official deadline is gonna be September 17th. So what I'm saying here is that we are gonna be observing the holiday. So that's the reason I am implementing an early deadline, which is a Thursday. But all the problem sets, all the assignments are gonna be open until the 20th, okay? So we have a test consists of 10 questions per chapter. So each test, you are gonna be solving a questionnaire with 20 questions. So, and that is gonna be the test. Then sapling learning, you have two different chapters, in this case, chapter 5 and chapter 6. That's the score that you are gonna see in sapling 1. And then the reflection paper is basically a summary. It's a summary of the chapter in your own words. Keep in mind that your assignment is gonna be scanned for plagiarism. So if you upload your paper and then you see that there are some issues of plagiarism, you can fix it if you do it ahead of time. If you are submitting your paper by the deadline and you realize that your paper is compromised with plagiarism, you will have no chance to correct it. So please, I encourage everyone to write their reflection paper. They are not difficult. is a document with at least 800 words, almost 400 words per chapter. So you have to go through the chapters and express the concepts in your own words. There is nothing difficult on doing that. Well, it might be difficult because this is new language, and sometimes we are borrowing too many words from the book and from the materials. And sometimes it's the paper on each chapter altogether. Yeah, it's a paper on 2 chapters. So is test 1 going to be based on chapter 5 and 6? Yes, that is a good question. Each test is going to be made out of questions from the chapters of the module. So the test number 1 is going to include questions from chapter 1 and questions from chapter 6, 10 per chapter. So once again, the test is going to be 20 questions, 10 from 5, 10 from chapter 6. Sapling are the problem sets that many students are getting familiar with. So there is around between 15 and 20 questions per chapter. And once again, the reflection paper is a paper. It's a document that you have to write. You read the book, you revise the PowerPoints, and then you start writing the concepts on your own words. I can tell you that plagiarism is going to be penalized. And remember, plagiarism, it means that you are deliberately trying to cheat. So when things are like, for example, you are doing your best to write your paper, but for some reasons you have still some issues of plagiarism, I will understand. So so the problem with plagiarism is the intention of cheating. So if you are cheating intentionally, that is going to be penalized. And I will have no sympathy for students who are copying and pasting some portions of the textbook. It's very tempting that at the end of the chapter, there is a summary. I have seen many people copying and pasting the summary, and that is a mistake. Please try to do the work the best you can. Okay, so does it mean that your paper is going to be free of plagiarism, the first, the second? Probably not. I mean, you will have some issues, but the goal is to learn how to write papers without without incurring in plagiarism. So those are the 3 assignments that you have to do. And as you can see, there are 5 of them. So I can tell you that each exam, so there are going to be 5 exams, meaning 5 different modules. And each exam is worth 5 points, okay? So 5 exams times 5 points is going to give you 25 points. So let's say that in the first test you get a 5, and the second you get a 4, then you get a 3. So all these exams are going to be computed, and at the end it's going to give you a score. So for quizzes, we have 10 different quizzes. There are 10 different chapters. So each one is 5 points. So sapling learning alone is going to give you 50 points. So please be very considerate about the deadlines for sapling learning, because that's going to be one of the sources of the largest points for your final assignment or for your final grade. So also the reflection paper, there are going to be 5 reflection papers. Each paper is going to be worth 5 points. So you are going to have 25 points. At the end, all these things is 100 points. So let me go back and see how many words does the paper need? 800, yes. Can someone tell me what is the book called? Well, the book is in the syllabus. Very good, thank you, Wada. If we need help with writing, yes, I can send you a draft. You can send me a draft and I will happily review that. You can also get some feedback from the writing center. I will be happy to revise your draft if you do it ahead of time. If you send me your draft on the day of the deadline, I will be unable to do that. So if you send it to me 2-3 days in advance, I will give you feedback, and that I can do. You have to go to Blackboard to see the instructions on how to download it. Thank you, Dylan. Uh, can we use the summary given as a reference? You can, but just try not to incur in, I mean, it's very easy to copy and paste, and believe me, turning in the text any pattern, even when you are changing words. So changing word from a phrase is called paraphrasing. So Turnitin has the power to detect that. So please refrain from using online sources. So
I have a question.
yes, please, Zakaria.
So my question is for the chapters. So you post the PowerPoints on Blackboard.
Yes.
The PowerPoints you put on Blackboard, are those information from chapters in the book?
Yes. So the PowerPoints are based on the book, and some of them are, and most of them are coming directly from the publisher. In some cases, I made some additional notes. So those PowerPoints are in some extent a modified version of the PowerPoint that is originally uploaded in OpenStax. So you can use them as a reference. You can use the summary as a reference, but I don't accept people copying and pasting the materials. Okay.
Okay, so you know, for the work you have, that, you know, chapter 3, chapter 4, we can use those PowerPoints as references to do the work, right? Instead of reading the actual chapter.
You can do whatever you want, but so my point is, if you decide to use the PowerPoints alone, it's fine. But if there is a question that is better explained in the book and you rely on the PowerPoint, you are not going to get the full explanation. Some students are very good. I can tell you that many students use the PowerPoints and they have very little problems. So you can do it. I mean, I'm not against that. But if you feel that you need more help, I do recommend you to go ahead and read the book, okay? So is that okay, Zakaria?
Yeah.
Okay. So please keep in mind that this is the deadlines. Sorry, this is the points. The deadlines are very clearly stated in the syllabus. Please do not forget to check your syllabus every single time you can, because the deadlines are almost sacred. Where can we find the PowerPoints? Very good point. The PowerPoints, what did I do? The PowerPoints are gonna be located in each chapter. So if you go, for example, to the introduction, so you scroll down and the PowerPoints are here, okay? So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so very good question. Also, in each module, you have access to module 1, and you can see that you have chapter 5, and you have all the information. I already uploaded some video presentations from YouTube, so you can go and watch them. They are very short. Most of them are very short, and they are also very informative. So I'm going to be doing the class. I'm going to be doing these video presentations. You have the PowerPoint. So you have a lot of materials to do your assignments. So also in each module, you are going to find the 2 chapters, and also you are going to find the links for the reflection paper and the link for the exam. As you can see, this exam is going to be available on September 13th. So probably you don't see it, I can see it, but the exam is going to open on September 13th, or probably before, because the deadline is the 17th. But so everything is in a place so you can find it easily. And if you don't find it, please send me an email, okay? So yes.
So you see where it says reflection 1?
Uh-huh.
So how would I submit that reflection?
So you click on the view complete, and So you will see, so sometimes you have to be patient like now. So, and then you follow the prompts. So, so you type the, all this information, then choose your computer. So you can choose the file from your computer or from your Google Drive or Dropbox and just upload it. So you can upload a Word document or a PDF. Those who have other type of programs like, well, those in Apple, please transform your file in a PDF. I cannot open the, well, I can open probably at some point, but it's not easy to download it from this computer to my programs. I don't know if I am dumb, but it's easier for me to grade assignments in Word documents or assignments in PDFs, okay? So that's very easy. You just type your name and the submission title, and then just follow the prompts. And when you upload your file, you say upload. Sometimes it takes time to upload the files, and it's kind of like a little bit upsetting because you have to wait a lot. So, it's not impossible. So, so that's the point. So we start the class at 9:30 and end the class at 10:45, right? So we still have some time. So,
Mister, I have a question.
is that, yes, Randy?
So I clicked on the thing that you clicked on as well, the reflection one.
Can you speak up a little bit?
I clicked on the reflection one thing that you clicked on, and I see something different. I don't see like I don't see like be able to drop files and stuff like that.
Did you scroll down?
Yeah, it just says submit at the bottom.
It says reflection one, and then like the dates and submit.
Yeah, for example, I'm gonna go back. So when you go to the module, you see the reflection one, and then click in view complete.
Mm-hmm.
Once you click in view complete, you are gonna be prompted to the uploading site.
Yeah, but I don't see that. Like how, like that's that. I only see
Okay, try to well, send me an email, and I mean, that's a very good point. Thank you for making this comment. If you have issues,
I tried it and I clicked submit, and then it took me to that page.
oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. So try, if you have problems, please send me an email as soon as you can. I will forward this email to the guy who is the expert in Blackboard. So in the worst case scenario, don't wait for the very last minute. Email me as soon as possible. And this guy, his name is Stephen Castellano. He's very good and he's very responsive. So please, any issue, contact me as soon as possible. And also if you have issues with Sapling Learning, these guys at Sapling Learning, they are really good. They are really good. So please, any question, any comment, any problem, email me as soon as possible. I will forward those emails to the proper people and they will take care of your problem. So don't wait for the last minute. Some students are emailing me at 11:58 saying that they have problems with signing up or things like this. That is not good, okay? So, so we have the syllabus. I think we covered everything related with the syllabus. If you misplace the book, here there is always a link where you can get the book very easily. So, so once again, my name is Juan de la Cruz. I am an economist. I'm working on health economics, issues of economics and public health. My main research is about the cost effectiveness of interventions for people with HIV. So, so this is kind of like a combination of public health and economic methods. especially evaluation. So, so that's my background. I have been teaching this class for almost 15 years, 20 years. Sounds not. I have been teaching this class for almost 15 years, and I can be of help if you need me. Okay. So blah blah blah. This is okay. So for those who have not registered to Sapling Learning, those are the instructions, and I really encourage everybody to sign up as soon as possible. There are many assignments. The assignments are not complex. They are a little bit labor intensive in many cases, but most of them can be solved without any problem. So, so I have seen more. Where can we find the PowerPoints? I mentioned that a few minutes ago. Go to each chapter in each module, and then to each chapter in Blackboard. We upload the reflection paper assignments on Blackboard. Yes, there is a link for turning in. Is the extra credit for chapter 3 on Sapling Learning? The answer is yes, you can find that. And the first test is gonna be based on chapter 6, 5 and 6. That is correct. So those are some of the questions that I can see in the chat room. So, so I hope, well, that's working very well. I think, thank you for asking many, many good questions. So once again, if you haven't signed up for Sapling Learning, please do it ASAP. And very important, do not miss any deadline. As you can see, if you miss any of the assignments, you are almost losing a letter grade. It's better to do the assignment and probably get the most points that you can than do not do the assignment. If you miss it, you are almost losing one letter grade. For example, you can go from A to A minus, or from A minus to B plus, and then every time you lose an assignment, you are losing points. So the goal for this assignment is gonna be to accumulate as many points as possible. So you work very hard, you are doing your homework, and you are getting the maximum amount of points. So don't be discouraged if you get in one assignment 1 point, 2 points. Those points are very valuable, very, very valuable. So you are not failing. At the end, your grade is going to be computed based on all the points that you are accumulating over the course of the semester. So what is the day for? Is the introduction assignment in chapter? Can we find it in Sapling? Yes, it's in Sapling. So I guess I opened Sapling somewhere in here, is here. So as you can see, the deadline is going to be September 17th. And probably I will, yeah, September 17th, 2020. But remember, all these assignments are going to be open until the 20th. I think I'm going to change it now. They're going to be open until the 20th. We are observing the holiday, but also we are considering that the students might need a little bit more of time to complete this assignment, okay? So all this is here. I'm gonna be monitoring your activities. I have access to the grades, so I can see who is doing the homework, who is not doing the homework. Just keep in mind there are 90 students in the class. It's gonna be very hard for me to keep an eye on each one. If you are falling behind, please ask me questions ahead of time. I will be happy to dedicate time for you guys, but you have to ask me. I cannot be chasing you. So the class is gonna be taking place every Monday, but I was also suggesting, and probably that's something that I should do later in a poll. So this Wednesday, I am planning to meet the students. So also to meet the students on Wednesdays. So it seems that we have 2 holidays coming up. So next Monday is a holiday, then 2 Mondays later is a holiday, and then 4 Mondays later is another holiday, and they happen to fall on Mondays. So we are gonna be missing classes. So my alternative is I'm gonna be lecturing on Wednesdays. or at least I will be online from 3 p.m. to 5, or 3:30 to 5. I guess I said, I don't remember. Check check what I said. I think I sent an announcement for that. So so from 3:30 to 5. So I am gonna be Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5. Do you have to attend the class? The answer is no. There is no a mandatory. It's not mandatory. I think I was kind of scolded because I said I want to meet the students an extra day, and they said no, you cannot do that. So, but I am still gonna do it outside of our duties. So I'm gonna be on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5 p.m. online, trying to catch up with the class. Okay. So
I have a question.
yes, please.
So you see with sapling learning, we can skip ahead, right? We don't have to wait.
Yes, you can. You don't have to wait. That is absolutely right. That is
Okay.
absolutely correct. And also, you can start, like for example, the only, well, so you can start the assignments right now and stop and then come back, and then so you can go back and forth during before the deadline, and that is perfectly okay. That is perfectly okay. So what you cannot do is that after the deadline, you cannot do anything else. So the time is up and you won't be able to access the assignments, okay? So it's very important that you keep the assignments and the deadlines, I mean, you observe them, okay? But yeah, you can start right now and then stop and then come back in the middle of the night. You can do anything before the deadline, okay? That's also a very good question. So we covered the book. So the book is very nice. It's very easy to read. Has a lot of good materials. So sapling learning, some of the assignments are challenging. They are not difficult. They are challenging, time consuming, and you have to go back and review some other materials in order to solve them. But I have seen many students doing a very, very good job. And as I said before, it's all about be consistent in the class and doing the work little by little, but consistently. So every time we have a meeting, I'm gonna be sending a link. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but I think it's the only way I can account for your presence in the class. So I can, so you are now online, I can go to Zoom and ask for a roster of those who were attending the class. So I don't have to take attendance. I'm just gonna be using that roster as your class attendance, okay? So any question before I enter to other topics?
Me, I have a question.
Yes, who is this?
So when all the assignments are sapling learning, and that's the one that's linked on Blackboard. Is that separate from the presentations on the reflection, or is the same thing?
Okay, can you ask your question again? So we have
the one on the screen right now. Those are the ones due on the 17th, or the ones on sapling are due on the 17th, or it's two different things?
Well, this is a reflection. So very good question. So remember, you have 3 different assignments every module, right? So the test, so if we go back to module 1, so we have the test in module 1. What is the module 1? So this is module 1. You have the test and you have the reflection paper, right? So so those are the following in sapling learning. So, sorry, those are assignments in Blackboard, the test and the reflection paper. So you have to go to the module and you have to upload your reflection and then click on the link and solve the quiz. For this area, you have to go to sapling learning and start doing your homework. So each one is, you click in the link and you get the question for that particular chapter. And some of them are very easy to do. Some of them are implied more thinking. So answering your question, once again, the test and the reflection paper are gonna be in Blackboard, and sapling learning is gonna be in the website, in a different website. All these assignments, as I said before, they are due on the 17th, but because this is a holiday, I am extending the day to Friday, which is September the 20th. But all these 3 assignments, both in Blackboard and sapling, are due the same day. Okay? Did I answer your question, Stephanie?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure. So please feel free to ask me again if you have any questions. I will be very, very happy to repeat that information as many times as necessary. Will the meetings code be in Blackboard? Is paraphrasing considered plagiarism? Yes. What chapter is the reflection paper on? 5 and 6. What does the module mean? Okay, good question. A module means the following. We have 2 chapters, and each chapter has 3 different assignments. That is a module. So we are going to go through module 1. So you have to answer the test, you have to write your reflection paper, and then you have to solve the 2 quizzes or the 2 problem sets in chapter 5 and chapter 6. At the end, I'm going to give you points, and those points are going to be for each module. So as we can see, each module, you are going to accumulate 5 points from the exam, 5 points from the reflection papers, and 10 points from the quizzes. So every single module, you are going to be accumulating 20 points. And those 20 points, you just have to monitor how many points you are losing in that particular module. So that is a call for you. Like, for example, if you get 20, you are going to be fine. If you get 19, 17, 18, you are fine. But if you get 10, 5, that is something that you should be concerned about, okay? So just keep looking at your points, and you are gonna be your own, working at your own pace, okay? So more questions in the chat. Is it like, if it's, no, if you use quotation marks, you are not plagiarizing. You have to make the proper citation, but the point is, and the goal for this assignment is to express your thoughts in your own words. So you can quote if you want, and if you do the proper quotation, I will see that. So that is not plagiarism. So we have to purchase the course text in sapling, right? No, the book, well, the textbook is free. Sapling learning costs $42. Thank you for Kelly for answering that question. Is sapling a must for our grade? I just said that yes. 50% of the grade is going to be based on sapling learning. Okay? Okay, guys? Okay, so let's see that, sure. So, so if you have more questions regarding this syllabus or any assignment, please send me an email. I will be happy to answer all your questions. So I want to start today by telling you how important, at least for me, is to check the information. So we are in a very, very difficult time, and it's very hard for me sometimes to determine what is going on in this world. So one way, a good way to do it is by looking at the main sites. Media is good. In some cases, I'm a little skeptical sometimes, but it's the only source of information that we might have. So one of the sources that I would recommend you guys is the Wall Street Journal. I like it, but at some point it's gonna be difficult because so the Wall Street Journal is for pay. So I think we need a subscription, or I don't know if everybody needs a subscription. So you cannot read many of the things that are, many of the articles, but at least you can see the headlines. Something that we should keep an eye on is the stock market. Many people might say, well, I don't care about the stock market because I do not have anything to do with the stock market. Well, you might think, and probably you are very young and you don't have a full-time job right now, but many people have full-time jobs and many people are receiving 401ks. So retirement plans, most of these retirement plans are very likely attached to your stock market. So we have different stock markets in America. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So that is a collection of the 30 largest firms in America. So it's kind of like a little snapshot of what is happening in the big economy. So this Dow Jones, for example, I think McDonald's, I think Tesla became part of it, Apple is part of it, and many of these are using the Dow Jones. Many of these big companies, remember there are 30 big companies in this Dow Jones. As we can see, the Dow Jones was very high in March 4th, previous the COVID, then lost almost 10,000 points, which is not very good. In the past months, things are slightly becoming better. So from 18,000 points here, we are almost reaching the same level as before. So is that a good indication for the economy? Well, at least I will be happy because I was looking at my 401k and in this period, I lost a lot of money. But now I look at my 401k and my retirement plan looks much better, like before of the COVID. So my point is, even though we don't have anything to do with the stock market, so the stock markets are very good indicators of what's going on in the economy. For example, when a person is sick, what is the first thing that you do? Well, you take the temperature and see whether the temperature is high or is too high. So if there is a fever, you go to the doctor. So stock markets are forward-looking markets. So if things look good for the future, stock markets are gonna react in a positive way. If the economy is not good or we have the perception that the things are not gonna be in the future, the stock market is gonna react negatively. So today, there might be some factors driving the stock market down. But as we can see, the stock market fluctuates almost every day. The long run trend is that the stock market is increasing over time. So this is a picture of 6 months. This is a picture of 3 months. This is a picture of a year. So we can see how the stock market within the year was doing beautifully and then came down. Now it's kind of recovering little by little. So is that a good thing? I will say yes. We also have the Standard & Poor's. So Standard & Poor's is even more noticeable how the changes happen. So the Standard & Poor's is a collection of the 500 largest companies in America. So Dow Jones 30, Standard & Poor's is 50. So transactions in buying and selling a stock for the 500 largest companies in America provides you a better picture of what's going on. Once again, is the stock market something that we should rely our information, our judgment on? The answer is no, but once again, that is a forward-looking market. So today we can see that some bad news in the market. I don't know what happened so far, but that is affecting the perception of the investors in the market. Probably these things are capturing short-time changes. And also the NASDAQ is a market that, look at this, so even before COVID, so COVID hit, and now the NASDAQ is growing extremely high to extremely high levels. So what's happening is this transformation on COVID are promoting the development of new technologies. For example, what we are doing now, we are using Zoom. So Zoom is one of the things that we didn't use before. So many companies, many investors are investing in firms that are very likely based on technology. We have Tesla, we have Apple, we have Microsoft. Those are big innovators. Very likely NASDAQ is going to be accounting for transactions in the technological market. And we can see that this is almost unstoppable. So this market is growing very fast. So, so once again, we don't rely only on the information of the stock market. There are always things that are affecting the markets. Anything that you can see here is affecting the market. So we have this Wall Street Journal. So I also like to take a look at Bloomberg. For example, Bloomberg has more world information. For example, India economy plunges by record 23.9. Almost 1/4 of the Indian economy is falling. Is that important to me? Of course, it's important because India is one of the partners of the United States. And even though it's many miles away, many American companies work in India, many Indian companies are in America. So, and COVID is messing up with all these things. Some people don't like it, but I also recommend to take a look at Fox Business. So we can see what's going on from 3 different perspectives. So we can just take a look at these 3 different types of information, okay? So Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg.com, and Fox Business. Let me get rid of this. I just want to mention that those are very good places. So for example, if I want to know more about the economy, for example, many people say, well, that's a fake news. How do you know that this is true? Well, we have the power to know whether statements are true or false. When a policymaker tells me that unemployment is increasing, unemployment is decreasing, so we have this place. So if I go to Google and I type FRED, so FRED is the Federal Reserve Economic Data. So this is part of the Federal Reserve Bank. So this website has extremely useful information on the economy. Anything that you want to know, for example, I want to know about inflation. So inflation, we have series of inflation. So very likely we're going to be looking at the consumer price index for all urban consumers. So we can see how inflation is going up and down. So, so this is a very good website because we need to know data that can help us to get better ideas on how things are working. So I just want to mention the 3 media outlets that I like to watch. You can watch whatever you want, but you have to read something. So FRED, very important. So the importance of looking at the media, let me go back to Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal is one of the examples. They always report things that are happening in the economy. For example, a few days ago, I don't know if you watch it, but the chairman of the Federal Reserve System, he came out and he spoke. And what happened after that? Well, the market started growing very fast. So why that happened? Well, central banks have a lot of power when it comes to economic information. So, so what he said was good for the economy. So that drove the market a little bit higher. So once again, I don't know what is happening in the economy today, in the market today, that is pushing the stock market down. So also, I just want to make some brief comments. So, so let me get this part up. So I'm gonna make just few comments very, very fast. So those are things that I either downloaded from other places. So every time we are doing a class, I like to go through some of the indicators and see what happens. For example, we have some of the things that we need to keep an eye on. So how fast the economy is growing every quarter. And at the end, how fast the economy grew within the year. So we have economic information. For example, this is January 2016. Economic growth was 0.4%. Then second quarter, 1.5%. Then, so you can see the numbers here. So what is this number likely to be? Well, when you hear policymakers announcing that the economy grew at a rate of 3%, we should be happy because 3% is the lowest or is the right amount of growth that a country might be willing to accept. So anything that is lower than the 3% might not be good. So every time we look at the market and we look at the economic information, we need to know that the economy grows at least 3% every year. So this is a bigger picture of economic growth. So this is the real gross domestic product. So as we can see after the housing market, so we have the Great Depression. So the economy has been fluctuating a lot between 2009 and 2018. So we can see swings in the market going up and down, and so we can see so the economy going up and down. What is good to know is that rather than looking ups and downs, we want to see more stable economic growth. For example, here economic growth was kind of high, and then was negative, and then was high. So all these numbers are canceling each other. So at the end, what you see is an economy that doesn't grow in the proper way. So we can see here that the economy kind of stabilizes a little bit more. So, so that is important, how fast the economy grows over time. And that is going to be measured by what is called the real gross domestic product. Okay, so we are going to revise all these concepts during the course. So also we have, this information is pre-COVID, so it's before COVID-19. So we can see the stock market in 2009, 2008, as a result of the Great Depression, Great Recession. So the stock market fell very sharply from almost 13,000 to 8,000 during during President Obama. So the stock market grew substantially, and in the last administration, the stock market has also kept those growths. So it's unfortunate that we were hit by COVID-19. So another thing is inflation. We are going to talk about inflation. Many people have an idea what inflation is, but basically inflation refers to the purchasing power of the money. So when the money starts losing value, so that means that inflation is overcoming growth. So, so inflation is the increase in prices and is sustained and is generalized. So I'm trying to follow all the questions, okay? So we have this inflation. So inflation has to be between 2 and 1. So when inflation is higher than 2, we might have, well, it might be relatively good or bad. So any inflation that falls between 1 and 2 is good. Any inflation that is higher than 2 might be problematic. But also it depends on the context. I was mentioning the chairman of the Federal Reserve. He announced that he was considering leaving inflation higher than 2%. So we will get that idea later why this is correct. But remember, inflation has to be between 1 and 2. Growth, it has to be greater than 3 in order to be good. So if growth 3%, inflation between 1 and 2, and also so we have unemployment that has to be at least 5%. So this is also very important. The Federal Reserve System, how to say, they determine the amount of money that will circulate in the economy, and therefore they are determining the interest rates. So when we have a period where a recession is taking place, you can see 2008, interest rates are very low. Almost during the whole President Obama administration, interest rates remain very low. So that is because the Federal Reserve System was trying to improve the availability of money and therefore economic activity. So we can see that during the last part of the Bush administration, so interest rates start increasing. So that means that the economy was booming. So therefore we need higher interest rates. A booming economy, we have higher interest rates. A recession implies lower interest rates, okay? So we will discuss that when probably by the end of the semester. So I was mentioning also this unemployment rate. Unemployment rates have to be around 5%. There is a reason for that, and we are gonna explain why unemployment in a good economy has a 5% unemployment rate as a healthy unemployment rate. So we can see that between 2008, unemployment rates are declining, and they keep declining after President Obama left the office. So we have an economy that has been in very good shape for many years. And so this is the labor force participation, something different from unemployment. We're gonna explain what that means. So labor force participation needs to be high, not low, but I mean, unfortunately, between 2008 and 2016, the labor force participation is declining. So just to give you an idea what the labor force participation means is all those who want to work and can find a job. So for example, if you are 18 years old and you are legally allowed to work, and then you are up to 62 years old, so you retire. So people between 18 and 60 something years, so in this case, the number the range is lower, people between 25 and 54, so they are people that are willing and able to work. So when these people can find work, so it's good that the percentage of these people is higher rather than lower. So in this case, we can see that because of the Great Recession, we lost many people who were not willing and able to work. So, some people receive food stamps, and these food stamps are important because it's a measure of poverty. So you want to know how many poor families are there in the country? Well, just look at the number of food stamps recipients, and you will see how this number, how high this number is. So all I can tell you is that between 2000 and 2015, 16, the number of poor families in America tripled in less than 15 years. So that is not a good news. So, so we want to see this number to be lower. So we want people to get jobs and people who can survive on their own means. So, and there are many things. This is also very important. I always scare students because when when we are talking about this, I like to look at the map. Hold on. Okay. So, so I like to go to the debt clock. So this debt clock has how much money we owe in America as a result of politicians. So, for example, here we have the national debt. So remember, we went through COVID. The government is giving people money in many ways. So now the national debt is $26 trillion. That's the amount of money that we owe. So every citizen owes, so we have 315 million people in America. Each one owes almost, in average, $80,000. But if you divide these people by the people who pay taxes, so the debt per taxpayer is almost $250,000. So it's a lot of money. So if we compare our debt with our production, so the US gross domestic product is how much we are producing. So production is very low, debt is very high. So the point I am trying to make is that politicians always use debt as a tool for economic growth. So we can see this picture of debt. So debt seems to be going down from the 40s and 50s and 60s. Then we have Mr. Reagan, and Ronald Reagan increased the debt in a very high way. So then President Clinton is the only president who has lower debt, at least for 1-2 years. And then thank you to Mr. Bush, and then followed by President Obama, and now followed by President Trump. So debt is getting out of control. So politicians are using debt for many reasons. And we can see here that since Bush up to 2020 with President Trump, so debt has grown exponentially. So we have big debt during Bush, the Bush II administration, and that was explained by the multiple wars that we are fighting. Then President Obama with the collapse of the housing market in 2008, and then the use of debt because of COVID-19 in 2020. So we have a kind of like not very good picture of the economy, even though the US economy is the largest economy in the world. So we can see that we are still doing not very good things in the economy. So we have to be very careful about what we hear and what we know about the economy, because in many cases, I'm just very skeptical about the news. So, okay, so I shouldn't say more than this. So, so we have growth of the GDP growth. We have unemployment, we have inflation, we have national debt, we have labor force participation. All these concepts have to be very clear for everybody. So, so we are gonna have a better understanding of the economy. But also, we don't have only issues in America. So the world is really really struggling with many things. So if we look at the international environment, for example, we have issues with China. So China is the second largest economy and has a very important military power. So commercially and politically, China is one of the countries that we should keep an eye on. Also Russia. Russia is a nuclear power. Although this is a very small economy, GDP is 4 trillion. I think I heard that it's almost the size of the economy of Florida. So it's not that big. Russia is very important, and especially because of the nuclear power. So we have also North Korea, the Middle East, places that are struggling with political stability. So, and some of them are dictatorships. So we also at the commercial arena, we have important trade with the European Union, but trade has been very unfair. So if you look at the commercial relationships with the European Union, they like to charge very high tariffs to American goods. So, and they don't want Americans to charge them high tariffs. So things that need to be addressed. Also, we have like a group of countries, US, Mexico, and Canada working together. So the former NAFTA has been modified and converted into the USMCA. So we are trying, I think in many cases, multilateral agreements are less effective than small agreements between countries. So I am very much in favor of arrangements that the American government does with another country rather than these big and almost useless multilateral negotiations. But also, if we look at the case of America, it's the same case in other countries, in most of the world. Migration is becoming a big issue in many countries. Um, uh, we know that migration is always good for any country, but at some point you can see big movements of people across countries, from Latin America to the United States, from the Middle East and Africa to Europe, and people are moving in very big numbers. So the consequences are yet to determine. At some point, most of this world migration happens because of our bad governments. I'm here in America, not because, well, I chose to come to America, but I left Mexico because of the economic and political environment. So, so migration is a complex topic. I don't want to say too many things about it because everybody has personal views. I just want to mention that all these issues are affecting the American way of doing business. So at the end also, there are many topics that are going to be debated. And especially this is a beautiful time for studying economics. Why? Well, we are hearing many things about the plans of the candidates, Mr. Trump, who is running for election, and Mr. Biden, who is representing the Democratic Party. So the two of them have kind of different agendas, but it's very true that some of the topics that we need to address is taxes. Tax reform, lowering or raising taxes is one thing. Tax reform means that we are going to change many of the ways we compute taxes. Many people think that taxes are unfair. So one candidate is advocating probably for more redistribution, and the other candidate is advocating for more pro-growth. So those are two different schools of thoughts. You either redistribute the wealth among people in a country, or you promote growth and then you provide jobs. So two different views. One is more conservative, one is more liberal. So, and the thing is between higher taxes and lower taxes. So at the end of the election process, people are going to choose one or the other. Also, when it comes to healthcare, many people believe that universal healthcare is a very good idea. The idea of Medicare for all is gaining traction in many places. But also many people believe that if you have already a private insurance, why are you going to leave your insurance to the hands of the government? Some people might be happy to get insurance through government. Some others might be more appreciative of their private insurance packages. So immigration, also a big point in America. Almost 21 million people are undocumented. And it seems that both Democrats, Republicans, and presidents are just kicking the can down the road. So the issue of immigration is becoming a big issue in America, and probably is going to determine the choice between one and the other party. So something that is very noticeable is that if you are using the subway, if you are driving, so you can notice that trains are horrible, streets are horrible, and you see bridges that need maintenance. So infrastructure is some of the things that governments should address quickly. So we have an infrastructure that is aging and we need to fix. So at some point, governments have to take care of that. Also, Social Security and retirement. Social Security is not in very good shape. Medicaid is not in very good shape financially. So for many people, we are going to rely on private retirement plans. Social Security, as I said before, is facing some issues. So education, also a big point in the agenda of policymakers, either college free for all or merit-based. I don't know. I mean, people have different feelings about education. So free education might be something that many people might like, but also, so it might be an inefficient way to deliver education. Also, finally for today, I just want to mention very quickly. So we have different school of thoughts. In many cases, policymakers put more emphasis in the interlinks between America and the rest of the world. So globalization has become a very important issue in the discussion. However, in the past years, we have seen this idea of America first or made in America. So that is a more nationalistic view. And by saying nationalistic, I don't want to mean any derogative, anything bad. It's two different things. You either believe that the rest of the world is good for America, or you believe that producing things in America is good for your country. So two different point of views that are also source of the debate in politics in America. So which one is the best? Well, we don't know. That's the reason we have elections. And if you have the power of your vote, I think you should choose for one or the other. So in few words, I just want to give you a big overview of what are the things that we might be paying attention on. So all these issues have to do with macroeconomics. So those are topics that influence the way we produce. At least, for example, the health sector. So that is one of the largest sector in the production in America. So I guess 25% or 20% of the production has to do with medical issues, either pharmaceuticals, hospitals, and some other producers. So let me see my chat room. I guess there is a lot of activity that I haven't seen. Some people are talking about Apple and Tesla. They are splitting. Very good. That's a very good economic news. Jonathan, so what does it mean when they split their stock? Well, basically, they have a share that is very expensive. For example, Tesla, I guess, is $2,500. So people are less likely to invest in a very expensive share. So what Tesla is going to do is going to break the price. Like, for example, I guess it's 4 to 5 or 5 to 1. So if the price is 2,500, they are going to create one out of one share, they are going to create 5. So if this costs 2,500, each one of these in the new price is going to be 500. So this share is going to split in 5 different shares. So is there any questions? So are you guys going to be willing to meet with me on Fridays from 3:30 to 5?
You mean Wednesdays?
Wednesday. I mean, I'm just trying to determine whether this is good for you guys, or I just should stick to the Monday's classes only.
I have FYI on Wednesdays.
So
from 3 o'clock to 3:50.
Oh, okay.
So is it possible if we could move it to Friday?
Yeah, me too. I have it.
Well, I mean, we have how many? We have 91 students. Very good. I'm very happy we are. So please, Fridays, I will be open to do it in Fridays. I will be happy because I think we need time. I mean, I just went through 2 things and we spent all the time. We didn't even cover chapter 3. So I will be happy to meet you guys on Fridays. Please send me an email, each one of you, if Fridays between 3:30 and 5 is a good time. If at least 50 or 60% of the class says that this is a good time, I will meet with you. In addition to Mondays, I am gonna meet with you on Fridays. But at least I need 2/3 of the class willing to attend classes on Friday. Otherwise, I will only meet on Mondays. And I can see many students have that thing. So please send me an email, and whatever your answer is, please send me an email. I will make a decision, and I mean, if people wants to join only once a week, I'm fine with it. We can extend the class for 10, 15 more minutes to cover some of the chapters. So I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. I will try to be available every time you want me to be available for you, okay?
So why we gotta meet at Friday? Is it optional? Because I have work.
Okay, then yeah, as I said, it might be optional, but send me an email if you are working, for example, and you cannot attend. Just say, well, I cannot attend. If you are willing on Friday, tell me I'm willing on Friday. And if you don't want an additional class, just say only Mondays. And based on that, I will send an email and I will let you know what's going on. Okay, is that clear? Whatever your answer is, just send me an email. Yes, Mondays, no Fridays, yes, Mondays and Fridays, or only Mondays, or whatever your answer is, please let me know in one phrase, and I will make the decision and inform the class about it, okay? I cannot force anybody to have an additional class, and as I said before, this is gonna be optional, and this is gonna be only for those who might have issues with the class and need more help, okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so please send me your email and I will be happy to see your answers, and I will send a reply by tonight, whether we are meeting only once Mondays or if we have another class for any other day. Or I just make myself available whenever you need me, okay? I think I will see you next class. If things work out, I will see you some other day. If not, I will see you every Mondays.
The
Okay.
next class is gonna be at Wednesday.
No, the main class is gonna be Mondays, every Mondays from 9:30 to 10:45.
Yeah, we're gonna meet with you, but another day.
Well, I mean, it can be any day. If people don't have a particular day, because I know people are working, they have some other things to do. If there is no way to meet, it's fine. I just keep the classes on Monday. If
Right.
somebody needs me, you can just send me an email. We can do a Zoom talk, and that might be good. So just send me an email telling me I just can Mondays. I can Mondays and on Fridays, and I just send me your email and tell me what you think. Okay.
Okay, take care.
Okay, guys. See you next time, and take care.
See ya.
Bye bye.